Boys, UFC 321. Honestly, these fight cards have been going by so fast. We're back here for a pay-per-view now. And 321 Aspinall versus Gane. Not like what we did with that Vancouver card. This time, for sure, we are going to be giving you guys the rarest locks. And we are going to ace this card. Mark my word. With that being said, I did the research. I did the countless tape studies. We are gonna ace this card. We've had a few, new additions to this card. So with that being said, let's run through this card. Give you guys our predictions. Starting with the prelims, women's strawweight division. Jacqueline Amorm taking on Mizku. Now, Jacqueline is a high-level BJJ black belt grappler with some good submission threats, decent takedowns, and power in her hands, and a aggressive, high-pressure fighting style. She's good at closing the distance, controlling her opponents with good fight IQ, and she has good mid-fight adjusting. However, striking technique can be a little bit limited with wide punches that can be countered by a more technical striker. As of now, she's fairly inexperienced, against the top of the top tier competition. So with that being said, though, Mizkui, I don't know how you say that shit, but she has some good submission skills. She has okay takedowns, decent striking with good accuracy, output, and her takedown defense is strong. But if she can't get the fight to the ground, she does tend to struggle, as well as her striking defense is pretty bad. With that being said, Jacqueline is just so much better everywhere. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's gonna be able to get the fight to the ground. I think she's gonna set up the takedowns with her aggressive style. I think she's gonna, rock her for women's MMA terms, because I don't think either of these girls really have the power to put each other out. But she's gonna rock her, take her down, and get a submission here. I'm seeing a rear naked choke, round 2 submission. Let's get down to flyweight now. Azat Maxim taking on Mitch Raposo. Azat is a strong grappler with good control and pressure, with strong wrestling, good takedowns. He has, a strong ground and pound, good submission threats. He has an aggressive style, and he uses that to overwhelm his opponents, but his striking is pretty basic, and he can be countered pretty easily. Because he's so aggressive, his cardio is not able to hold up for 3 rounds. With that being said, Mitch Raposo has some clean boxing, good striking. He can finish the fight on the feet or on the ground. He does have those submission threats there. However, striking defense isn't the best, and he can struggle with people who have good submission threats. I think Azat should dominate this fight. I'm not gonna lie. I do think his cardio will hold up this fight. I do think he's going to be a little bit gassed come round 3, but he's just so much better than Mitch Raposo everywhere. I think he's going to dominate all 3 rounds. I don't think either of these dudes get a finish. I'm going with a 30-27 decision win here for Azat. Let's keep moving down though to heavyweight. Hamdi Abelahwa taking on Chris Barnett. Hamdi is really good at wrestling because he's an Olympic wrestler, but he's a former USADA suspension victim. His striking, okay. He is slow and telegraphed and has a tendency to rely way too much on that overhand. Because he uses it to set up his takedowns, he might not have the strongest fight IQ, because sometimes he wants to fight like a retard on the feet instead of wrestling when he has a clear advantage. With that being said, Chris Barnett is a freak of nature. Absolutely massive. Just look at him on screen. He looks like he should be in like a mobility scooter, but he has some of the most dynamic strikes in the heavyweight division. He has a taekwondo style with good power, nice spinning shit, strong leg kicks, and good ground and pound, but his striking defense is just plain out bad. He's always at a big height disadvantage with 0 grappling or wrestling threats, as well as his size makes it hard to believe that he really takes his career that serious. This dude should be a lightweight, to be honest. But Hamdi showed in his last fight, his fight IQ is terrible, one of the worst on the roster. He has garbage striking, and I just believe in my boy Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett, highlight reel KO. I always back my boy Chris Barnett. I'm backing him again. Let's go down featherweight division. Nathaniel Wood, Jose Delgado. Nathaniel Wood, a good striker with good output, good accuracy, some nasty, dirty boxing, and good grappling. He has strong takedown defense, decent takedowns himself with some good submission threats. He has good control on the ground, but his striking defense can get him in trouble, where Delgado is a aggressive striker with a solid forward pressure and good power, especially in the close ranges. I'm not gonna lie. He's willing to exchange and push the pace early with a physically just strong frame for the division, but his experience at the elite level is pretty unknown. His grappling submission defense pretty unknown, as well as his striking defense can get exposed when he's in these wild exchanges. And guess what? That cardio is pretty unknown. Delgado looked really good in his last fight, but Nathaniel Wood is just that dog. He got that dog in him, I'm not gonna lie. And he's 100% gonna push Delgado to his limits and break him. Round 3 KO. Nathaniel Wood will be able to take everything Jose Delgado has, and he will push the pace even more. He will break Jose Delgado in the second round and in the third round and get a TKO win here when Delgado is just broken up, gassed out. And this is by far the best fighter that Delgado has fought yet in the UFC. I could see Delgado sleeping Wood, I'm not gonna lie. Delgado looked really good in his last fight, but Nathaniel Wood is just, he got that dog in him, and you always gotta back the dog. Let's keep moving down to heavyweight though. This is a fight that came here short notice. You know, we got Valter Walker, Louis Sutherland. Valter, 6'6" giant who, unlike his brother Johnny Walker, Valter is more of this gritty wrestler than a striker. He looks, let's just call it what it is. He looks disabled when he's striking. But he has some dangerous heel hooks. That's what he's known for, where Sutherland is a heavyweight with real heavyweight power, with most of his wins coming by KO in that first round. But if he can't get that KO, tends to fade as the fight goes on, and he just has a one-dimensional fight style. Valter Walker is going to take down Louis Sutherland, get him to the ground, and get another first-round heel hook. Let's just call it what it is. There's no way that doesn't happen. I don't think Sutherland's going to sleep Valter. I think he's getting another first-round heel hook. I think he's going to go out of his way, honestly, to get another heel hook. Because, honestly, he could probably finish the fight ground and pound. He could get a arm triangle. I could even see a rear naked choke. But he's going to go out of his way and get to that heel hook. Move down, lightweight division. Big-ass name. Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwadi. Fuck. Big-ass name. Taking on Mateusz Camilo. Now, Abdul is a heavy-handed finisher with great KO power, especially early in the fight. With strong wrestling, good control, he is good at pushing the pace and has some nasty leg kicks, but his striking defense isn't good, and he can struggle for those takedowns, as well as his takedown defense is pretty bad as well, where Camilo, well-rounded fighter, dangerous KO power, and he has that submission threat, but hasn't really fought any high-level fighters. He has no high-level experience. He has some holes in his grappling defense, but this shit's going to be a war. This fight will be a war. Both these guys like to go after it, but I think Selwadi has more of a finishing instinct, and I just think he has the fight IQ to, I heard him. I'm going to try to finish him here, but I'm not going to be a retard and, get overzealous and get caught. I don't know if there'll be a finish here. I think it's going to be a war. 29-28 decision win for Ali Selwadi. Fuck, that's a crazy ass name. Let's go down though to the lightweight division. Ludovit Klein, Mateusz Rebecki. Also going to be a good fight. Ludovit Klein, a well-rounded fighter, good finishing rate, good KO power, good submission threats. He has good volume, good accuracy, very durable. He's calm under pressure. He is a little bit small for lightweight. And because of that, he's usually on that back foot. His submission defense is also a little bit worrying, as well as he can struggle to outpoint his opponents, where Rebecki, a high finishing rate fighter, good KO power, good submission threat. He blends in the striking and grappling very well. He has great submission game. He has good durability, but this dude's face swells up in each fight. He's 5'7" in the lightweight division and is often pretty undersized against most opponents, so not going to be that big of an issue for both of these dudes, considering they're both not that big of a lightweight, but his cardio tends to fade later on the fight, and I think I would have picked Rebecki under normal circumstances, but I know Ludovit Klein's just going to batter Rebecki's face, make it swollen up. And Rebecki just went to war with Chris Duncan literally like a month and a little bit ago. Too quick of a turnaround for Rembeki. I think it's going to catch up to him. Round 2 KO for Ludovit Klein. And again, under normal circumstances, I probably would pick Rembeki, but I hate this quick turnaround for him. Let's go down. Middleweight division. Ikram Aliskerov taking on Jung Park. Now, Aliskerov is one of these Russian wrestlers, but has some good hands. He hasn't needed to wrestle that much in the UFC because his striking's pretty good. He has a non-stop pressure game with, constant body locks, ties up. His striking volume's pretty good, and he has a good high guard, solid combinations, good power. But Park is a well-rounded fighter with, some good boxing and grappling, decent fight IQ, good body shot selection. He maintains a good pace for all 3 rounds and good in the clinch, good takedown entries, fairly tough. I'm not gonna lie, this dude is tough. He's durable. He can recover very well, but doesn't have any real power for this division. And he can be controlled by strong wrestlers. Ikram Aliskerov is just better. Park is tough enough not to get finished, but Aliskerov should do whatever he wants to Park in this fight. 30-27 decision win. Let's get into this main event of these prelims. Another short notice fight. Lightweight division. Another war here. We got Nasrat Haqparast taking on Quillan Salkilld. Now, Nasrat is a striker. Good output, good accuracy, good striking defense, and good KO power. But takedowns pretty weak, and he can struggle against good pressure strikers. People who put him on the back foot. Quillan, a well-rounded fighter with some good clean striking, has some diverse strikes, will mix into the body, mix into the legs. He manages his range very well. He doesn't just headhunt, he'll work the body, work the legs like I just said. Also has some good grappling and will mix in some takedowns, but he sometimes chases submission over position. The fight IQ isn't super high on Quillan. He's also fairly young and, constantly improving. So I'm hoping that fight IQ does improve as he gets more experience out there. He's also very aggressive and is always on the front foot. That being said, Quillan's aggressive style will make Nasrat, reactive. And we've seen time and time again that Nasrat doesn't do that well on the back foot, and I think Quillan's going to keep him on that back foot the entire fight, which he has struggled in the past. 29-28 decision win for Quillan. I could see a submission win here for Quillan. I'm not going to lie. I'm going decision, though. Let's get into this main card now. Light heavyweight division. Aleksandar Ratchik, Azamat Murzakanov. Not the fight I would have given Azamat, but still a fun matchup. Ratchik is a striker, good range control, some sneaky good leg kicks as well with some good power on them. He has great takedown defense and has good KO power with good accuracy, but wrestling and submission threats are practically non-existent. Unfortunately, this dude has just been very inconsistent recently in his career, where Murzakanov is a well-rounded fighter, good KO power, good dynamic strikes, good takedown defense, and he has some strong grappling skills. Currently undefeated and a very fast starter with good fight IQ, but again, it seemed like it's hard for this dude to get a high-level opponent because this is the best and the best fighter he's fought so far in the UFC. He has pretty limited experience against these top-tier fighters, but because of his fast style, there are concerns about his cardio, as well as he's pretty small for light heavyweight, I'm not gonna lie, but he's one of the biggest prospects right now at light heavyweight. Ratchik is just on a skid, and I can't comfortably pick him. Yes, he's very good at his range, and he could keep Azamat Murzakanov out on his range the entire fight, keep him at his range. I could see that, but I can just see a nasty hook landing for Azamat as he's trying to close the distance and knocking out Aleksandar Ratchik. That's what I'm going, round 2 KO. Let's get down to heavyweight. Alexander Volkov, Jailton, Almeida. Volkov, a tall heavyweight with good striking. He is great at using his range. He has good kicks, jabs, good combos. He has pretty high volume and good accuracy, being able to mix in different strikes. And he's very good at, outpointing his opponents, but he does struggle with these elite grapplers and wrestlers, where Jailton Almeida is a grappler who has taken down everyone he has fought in, including Curtis Blades, which is a huge feat in my opinion. I think that's a great stat where, his striking isn't that good, but he makes up for being able to take down anybody and able to finish the fight, if there's a chance. This dude is clearly on the juice as well. And it is what it is. He doesn't have the best fight IQ though, because that time he was just hugging Curtis Blades' leg while Blades was hammer fisting his temple for like 30 shots in a row. Unfortunately though, he's taking down Alexander Volkov in the first round and gaining a submission. It is what it is. I could see Volkov pulling it off, but I think we're going to see Jailton Almeida for the belt next after this fight. It is what it is. Let's get down to the featured fight, though. Banger. Umar Nurmagomedov, Mario Bautista. Umar, a well-rounded fighter, good striking, good accuracy, and even better striking defense in my opinion. He has great wrestling and has, good/okay KO power. He has a diverse set of leg kicks and will go to the head, go to the body, go to the legs. He has good takedown defense and it's just strong grappling in general. Bautista, though, is a well-rounded fighter, a black belt in BJJ. He has a good submission threat, a pretty high fight IQ, and can adjust mid-fight very well. But this dude lacks any KO power and just one of the worst fight styles in the UFC with a, just prolonged clinch game to stall out, in my opinion. But I think this fight will be closer than what people think. Mario is, in my opinion, just a worse version of Merab. It won't be a win where people are like, yeah, we need to see Umar rematch Merab. It's not going to be a win like that. It's going to be a close win. Umar's still winning this 29-28 though. I could see him catching Bautista with a straight or something down the pipe. I'm going decision though. And it's not going to be a win where everyone's chanting for this dude to get a title shot. Let's get down to the co-main women's strawweight title fight. Virna Jandiroba taking on Mackenzie Dern. This is such a clown fight. The fact that this is for a belt is crazy, but Jandiroba, good BJJ fighter with good pressure, good ground skills. Her striking definitely the weakest part of her game, where Mackenzie Dern is a BJJ fighter, high level grappler, good sweeps, submissions from the bottom. She's pretty good durability, decent pace in her fights, but as much as she's been training like the wrestling and striking aspect of her fight, by far the weakest part of her game. Almost as if she hasn't progressed at all in those aspects, man. She has that dog in her. She never gives up, even when she's getting the dog shit kicked out of her, but the UFC want Mackenzie Dern to win this fight. She's more promotable. Look on screen and tell me who's more promotable right now. You're telling me the UFC don't have pre-written scorecards for this already? They do. There's going to be a 49-46, a 48-47, and another 48-47 decision win for Mackenzie Dern here. Pre-written scorecard, and honestly, it might even be a split decision. I don't know. It's going to the decision. Pre-written scorecard. Again, Mackenzie Dern got that dog in her. We got to back the dog, and the UFC want to have Mackenzie Dern as champion. Look at this. Tell me, who do you think the UFC wants to have as champion? Let's get into the main event now. Heavyweight division. Tommy Boy defending his belt against Ciryl Gane. Tom Aspinall, a well-rounded fighter, crazy fast striking, the power to KO literally anybody. He is a crazy athletic fighter with great footwork, good movement, especially for heavyweight, and is dangerous everywhere with strong grappling, good takedowns, very dangerous submission threats. But in every fight, this dude leaves his chin up, way up, begging to be hit, and we don't know what the cardio is like for him because he's pretty much only fought 3 minutes each fight, if you round it up. But Ciryl Gane, a good striker, good accuracy, good movement. He has a good reach and fast footwork with good variety of kicks. His striking defense is okay. We saw what Tai Tuivasa did to him. Definitely not that great of defensive work for Gane. His grappling and wrestling, pretty weak. And his cardio definitely starts to slow down after the second. He doesn't have that much power for heavyweight. His power is extremely overrated. He does not have that one-hitter quitter type of power like Tom Aspinall. And in my opinion, Tommy smokes Gane in the first round. Not just the first round. Tom Aspinall is going to go out there and make a statement win. First exchange, he's gonna catch Gane. First round KO, first exchange KO. Let me know in the comments below, what do we think of this card? 321. Definitely got a little bit better with these short notice, fights added, like the Quillan Salkilld fight and the Valter Walker one. But am I the only one that's thinking, okay, we got this one now? I'm happy and excited for this one, but just around the corner, we got 322. And I am so excited for 322. But let me know in the comments below, who do you guys think is going to win these title fights? Thank you for watching to the end of the video, and I will see you guys in my next video.